you're in trouble anyways. There was not much more he could have done. I don't know about his driving through the Eau Rouge, because Oscar got an amazing run through there. I don't know if Lando lifted a bit more there or what. But yeah, just not optimally executed. Like you'd think that Verstappen would have done it better. That's kind of the thought that you would have had when you're looking at that. And that lost in the race.
Yeah, he didn't have a very good exit out of La Source, did he, Bernie? And then, as you were saying there, it seemed like he was more committed coming over the top of Eau Rouge into Radion. He didn't lift, whereas Lando did, and that enabled him to get the run on him up the Kemmel Straight and make the pass that dictated the race.
And he knew it needed to be done then. He knew if he was going to be brave, it needed to be lap one bravery or race and lap one bravery to make it happen. He knew that being ahead, there was going to very quickly come a decision about changing from that inter onto a dry tyre. The car in the lead was always going to get the perfect lap for that. So Oscar knew he needed to put the most into it in that lap, and he did. And he very, very clear idea on what he needed to do in that lap, and he got it done.
Yeah, Oscar's now on a 31 race scoring streak. That's his sixth victory of 2025, which is the most by any Aussie in a single season. So we get back into this kind of battle between the two of them. I think it's fair to say now, with 11 left and an advantage of 268 points. Can we now call it, right? Constructors is McLaren's, okay? So there's going to be no team orders. They're going to be allowed to race to the end of the season. What did this victory, after a couple for Lando, having wrestled momentum, do again for Oscar, do you think, Nico?
Oscar is super strong. I mean, he surprised me because we all knew he was a great driver, but last year, Lando still had the edge. And this year, Oscar is just incredibly solid and strong and fast. And there's no weaknesses there. I mean, what's his weakness? There's no more weaknesses, which is a bit scary for Lando, because Lando does have weaknesses. You saw them again in Spa. You saw them at the restart. He made 3 big mistakes in trying to catch Oscar 3 times. He was off in Pujol. He locked up in turn 1, and another one that I can't remember. So there was 3 major mistakes, which cost him like up to 4 seconds of race time, which was exactly the difference between having a shot at fighting for the win in the last lap of the race or not. So that's always his weakness. He keeps on making little mistakes. So it's really impressive what Oscar is doing, and not easy for Lando, not easy to win this.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised. Pick up on Nico's point, the mistakes obviously came from Lando in that final stint. It was interesting post-race to hear Oscar say that he would have fitted the hard if he was the car behind. You know, both of them had this idea that they were going to go in the opposite strategy to the car ahead. But those little mistakes and the amount of coaching there appears to still be over the radio at times about where to improve for Lando was a bit surprising. I'm a bit surprised by that. I would expect him to be coming up with some of those sorts of things on his own a little bit more. Because that hard tire maybe was a bit tricky, but like Nico says, all of those half of seconds of mistakes or slight off, they all add up over the stint. And then by the end of the stint, you're not in the position that you should have been. And obviously his pit stop lap cost him a little bit as well. He's slightly slow stop. Those things he can't change, but the mistakes in that final stint could have been tidied up.
And you just think a Hamilton or Verstappen or even a Piastri would not have made all those mistakes. You always kind of have that thought.
So do you think that Lando's still, generally, would you say, just a smidge quicker than Oscar? It's just about mentality, Nico. And actually, when you get down to these seasons, and you can tell us because you've done one and you came out on top versus Lewis, how much is up top and how much is that, do you think, going to dictate who wins this title?
Well, you can't really say that Lando is a smidge quicker anymore. We at some point we need to stop in saying that, because there's no basis to that anymore. I would say Oscar has just been extremely quick always, and I see them kind of on a par. And then, yeah,
continue to present Baku as a vibrant, world-class sporting destination, welcoming fans from across the globe to experience both the excitement of Formula One and the unique spirit of our city and country. Formula One has agreed a new deal to keep the Azerbaijan Grand Prix on the calendar until at least 2030. Advert. Become a supporter and go ad-free. The Baku City Circuit joined the calendar in 2016. The race's contract was last extended in 2023. Formula One originally gave the race the title European Grand Prix when it first appeared on the calendar. It switched to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix title the following year. The event has taken place every year since then, except in 2020, when F1 did not travel to Azerbaijan due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Baku held a single sprint event in 2023. However, the event switched back to the traditional race weekend format last year, and F1 has not indicated any of the further events at the track will include sprint races. There's an incredible energy to the city of Baku, and since our first Grand Prix here in 2016, Formula One has consistently received a warm and enthusiastic welcome from the people of Azerbaijan, said F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali. This renewal reflects the strong trust and commitment between Formula One, the Azerbaijani government, and the promoter, and paves the way for an exciting future in the country. He added, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix will remain on the Formula One calendar until 2030 after the series signed a 4-year contract extension with the Baku organizers. The race, which is generously backed by Baku's long-standing regime, was set to host its final race of its current contract next year, but will now continue to be a mainstay on the F1 calendar. F1 CEO and President Stefano Domenicali said, there's an incredible energy to the city of Baku, and since our first Grand Prix here in 2016, Formula One has consistently received a warm and enthusiastic welcome from the people of Azerbaijan. The circuit is unique, with technical sections and long straights that run through the stunning shoreline and historic Old Town, delivering an eventful and entertaining race every year. This renewal reflects the strong trust and commitment between Formula One, the Azerbaijani government, and the promoter, and paves the way for an exciting future in the country. I would like to thank President Ilham Aliyev and Minister Gayabov for their continued investment and commitment to evolving the event, Anar Alakbarov, and the Azerbaijan Automobile Federation for championing Formula One in the country, and the team at Baku City Circuit for their year-round efforts in delivering an exceptional experience for our fans, drivers, and teams. The Baku Street Circuit race celebrates its 10th anniversary this year, initially joining the F1 calendar as the European Grand Prix in 2016. Subsequently, it ran as the Azerbaijan Grand Prix ever since, only missing out in 2020 at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. The race takes place on a 6-knee street circuit dominated by long straights and 90-degree corners, with a narrow castle section snaking around Baku's UNESCO-listed Old City before turning back for a flat-out blast along the Caspian seafront. Underlining its status as an anomaly on the F1 calendar, former Red Bull driver Sergio Perez is the only repeat winner since the circuit joined the calendar in 2016, while Ferrari's Charles Leclerc has yet to win the race despite snaring 4 consecutive pole positions. Keeping Baku on the F1 calendar could be good news for organizers hoping to revive Istanbul Park's Turkish Grand Prix, as it opens logistical possibilities for what is currently an awkward standalone weekend bridging the European season and the following round.